Thanks for checking out the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to see me play your deck, hang out with me in the amazing BoshNRoll community in Discord, access to my lists and sideboard guides before tournaments, book an individual coaching session, or just generally want to support what's going on here, check out the Patreon and YouTube membership options. For the finest Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, use code BoshNRoll for 10% off your order at coalesceapparel.shop. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. If you want to play what I'm playing, use my affiliate link to support the channel while you shop for cards at tcgplayer.com and play any deck anytime on Magic Online with a cardhoarder.com loan account. Thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome back for another BoshNRoll Legacy video. As you can see in front of you, this is a BoshNRoll staple. This is Sharkstill. Shark Typhoon and Standstill. Best friends forever. This deck requested by Patreon subscriber Chris. Chris reached out and was basically like, I got an event at the end of the month. What's your best Sharkstill list? And I said, I cannot recommend playing Sharkstill right now. As much as it breaks my heart, the card Standstill, draw 3 cards for 2 mana. If you do a bunch of work to make it happen, does not compete with Expressive iteration of 2 mana, look at 3 cards, take the best 2, with no work at all. No deck building requirements at all. Just cast the spell and you get the cards. Easy game. I played Sharkstill at the Legacy Pit Open, and my day 2 win and in is on camera somewhere in the Legacy Pit archives. And you see me get completely stable against Delver, and then we get to a position where they stick a creature, and then I draw Standstill. And I can't cast Standstill into their creature or else I die. And then they drew Expressive Iteration, which found Expressive Iteration, which found a land that gets Mystic Sanctuary for Expressive Iteration. And their engine was completely online, while mine was completely worse than offline. It was like I couldn't even cast the card. And that's just a world that's really tough to compete in. And I do not recommend Standstill in real tournaments for that reason. Chris thanked me for my honesty and said, okay, well, play it anyway. Sure, you got it, buddy. I went pretty deep into the tank on this. I started with my Legacy Pit deck because obviously I thought that was the best 75 I could come up with at the time. And I really racked my brain. I was like, is there any crazy tech we could play instead? Should I bring Urza's Saga back? Should I switch the colors? Can I be like 4 colors Standstill? Should I be Esper? I thought about Rug for a little while, a little Teamer Standstill action, and just the white cards are too good. Blue-white pretty much has to be the core with Timeless Dragon. That card is just undeniable. The Planeswalkers are too good. The removal's too good. And all roads led back here. However, I knew I didn't want to play 4 actual Standstills. Just the times those are bad. They're really bad. And it's tough when you're shaving one of the namesake cards of the deck. But I'd rather not see this. Like, I think it's more important that I don't draw it when I don't want it than it is to draw it when I do want it. If that makes sense. I have other ways to draw cards in the deck. I don't have ways to pull back ahead if I flood out on cards I can't cast. I don't know. Maybe I didn't articulate that well, but the bad bads are worse than the good goods. I don't know. I think that makes sense. And I tried to think of what exciting blue or white Magic card I haven't put in a deck in a while that could replace the card advantage engine. And I thought about all the modern I've been playing lately. I had a really great time playing Zach Allen's 4-color blue-white. It's basically blue-white control, splashing red and 6. And every time Hero of Dominaria was drawn and cast by me, I won the game. And every time I cast it, my opponent said something to the effect of, hell yeah. Like, this is just a card people are excited to see. The trauma of Teferi Standard seems to have worn off back when this was like the biggest eye roll. It's just like, oh god, here we go. And now it's an exciting 5-drop fringe playable that people like to see. And the main thing about Teferi in that modern deck is you could play Teferi plus it, untap, and be holding up Counterspell on 5 mana. And my deck contains Counterspell. It's perfect. Match made in heaven. Big Teferi is here. I've been shitting on Jace a lot lately because I've been blaming Pyroblast for the downfall of Jace. Teferi at least survives Lightning Bolt if it doesn't survive Pyroblast, but nothing really survives Pyroblast, and I could board it out in Pyroblast matchups if I really need to. But this is a powerful, proactive, and reactive main deck card that our colors and our strategy get access to, and I'm going to run with it. The rest of the deck's all here. I still think Currency Converter is one of the best payoffs you can have in a standstill deck. All of Heliod is your end game. Shark Typhoon is your engine. You got all the Planeswalkers, Narset Teferi, Wandering Emperor, and now Big Teferi. Backed by, of course, Force of Will, Swords of Plowshares, Prismatic Ending, Supreme Verdict. Just kill everything, counter everything, and then win somehow. That's the plan. Let's do this thing. And before we kick this thing off, I just want to put into the historical record that I wanted to play an Uro deck for you. I have the Buffalo Chicken Legacy open this coming weekend. By the time you're seeing this, it'll be last weekend. We'll know how I did. Really wanted to test 4-color Minskin Boo Uro, but Uro currently bugged on Magic Online. It seems like all escape cards are bugged. It is adding the cost of the front half of the card with the escape cost. So Uro costs 1 green, blue. Proxa, I've seen screenshots of that where it costs red, black to escape. Somebody reported Underworld Breach is basically doubling the cost of the spell because it costs what it costs plus the front half of the card. I don't know if it's just escape specifically or anything that would come out of a graveyard, but those cards are broken, and we're playing Shark Typhoon instead of Uro today until further notice. But I kept this hand on the strength of it is interactive and has 2 lands. Not great at answering any specific problem, doesn't have Force of Will or Swords to Plowshares. And we're on the draw against a Duress deck. Flooded Strand for Underground Sea. Flooded Strand either means this deck is mono islands, or it's their off-color fetch. I suspect Doomsday right now. That's my best guess. Ad Nauseam Tendrils is my second guess. This is not the Epic Storm. Okay, here we go. Time to party. Oh, just putting Lotus Petal into play. Okay. Second Shark Typhoon, not really what I'm looking for here. Let's see if we get to a spot where I can cast Standstill. Just a Ponder, okay. I'm a little worried about Dark Ritual Doomsday here, or even worse, Dark Ritual, Infernal Tutor, etc. You all didn't see it because I edit these down, but that Ponder took several full minutes. I have 24 minutes on my clock. They have 21 and a half. That was a long Ponder, and they ended up not shuffling. Lion's Eye Diamond could still be Doomsday, could still be Ad Nauseam Tendrils. Both decks still alive based on all the cards we've seen. Deep Analysis in the graveyard, this is Doomsday. Wow, just firing off Deep Analysis. What's the keep here? Fascinating. All right. So they pondered into Lion's Eye Diamond, which discarded Deep Analysis, which then drew Dark Ritual Doomsday from Hellbent. That kind of fucking rules, I'm not going to lie. Now I get to do this kind of cool thing, which is cast Standstill. And if they try to go off into it, I get to draw 3 cards. And if they don't go off into it, if they try to play it slow, there's a possibility I can deck them with my Standstill. This is one of the nightmare matchups. I don't have a Dress Down in my 75. I don't have Endurance in this color scheme. Obviously, that's a green card. There's really no specific answer or plan for Doomsday. Doomsday was just getting on the rise when I built this deck, and you could slide a Dress Down or 2 in here somewhere. If this is in your local metagame, play some Flusterstorms. But it's so fringe in real life. Like on Magic Online, people are trying stuff and people are just trying to win leagues, but in real life, being good at Doomsday is pretty tough. So I expect less of it. And then there's weighing out how bad the matchup is, even if I bring in 2 cards for it. And at some point, matchups just aren't worth fixing, and you should focus on fixable ones. Okay, Doomsday has resolved. Let's look at what's left. Got 1, 2, 3, 4 Force of Wills in the pile. The Cavern of Souls was in the graveyard and is now back in the deck. They probably put at least 1 fetch land in as well, or 1 fetchable land, because there's a blue to Delta in play. Force of Will is pretty dope. I'm going to cast this Standstill and see what happens. There's no red cards in my main deck. No reason to fetch a Volcanic Island and give away that I red cards in my 75 anywhere. 3 cards left in the deck. If they fetch, it's 2. Casting Thassa's Oracle, which I'm going to Force of Will, making them draw 3 cards instead. Moment of Truth. And if they fight back, yes, I've talked about this so many times on the channel, but it's never actually happened. Deck you with your own or with my own standstill. Got him. Sick joke there is that, or no, it had to be Force of Will. No, I was tapped out and there wouldn't have been a target. I was going to say like any instant would have done it, but no, it did have to be Force of Will. They must have made a pile with 2 oracles. Fascinating. All right. Red card's coming in. I'm going to bring in Surgical Extraction. It's not pretty, but if I counter a Doomsday, I can remove their ability to win the game. I got to respect Sheoldred a little bit, which I hate, but is necessary. I think Prismatic Ending can go, and at least 1 Swords to Plowshares. Winning Silence can do something. It means I win the counter war. It means they can't Dark Ritual or Lotus Petal out there. Doomsday. They can't Doomsday and win all in the same turn. All of those are things I like. Okay. This is my sideboard plan. I could Ruination also, if I think they're going to really drag this game out. Doomsday is not known for playing a ton of basic lands, but I don't think that's a path I want to take. Let's do this. You can also bring in like Containment Priest. Like if Sheoldred wasn't a possibility, I would cut the plows completely as well, and then bring in like Containment Priest just as a 2/2 with flash that I could pressure their life total with. Probably the Ruination for the cheese plan if they take too long to get off the ground. I'm going to keep my hand. I can answer Sheoldred. I can answer Doomsday. I can also mess with their business with my Surgical. It's about the best you can hope for in this matchup because not a lot of specific tools, as I said. Thunder did not shuffle. Thunder go. I hope they Dark Ritual out of Sheoldred right now. I'm so ready. Bummer. All right, I've been duressed. Expect Counterspell to go, but if they can land Dark Ritual Doomsday right now, maybe they take the Surgical instead. Surgical's another 0 mana instant, though, that can trigger Standstill, which makes Standstill a live draw if this is still in my hand. Yep, went for the counter. Cavern of Souls. Ooh, that's ugly. You don't want that this early, unless this is names like Human here, and they're on the Monk strat. Sometimes Doomsday is Esper, and they go on to Monastery Mentor after board. Either way, glad I have this Surgical or this Swords to Plowshares. Phyrexian. Okay, Sheoldred is in the deck and probably also in the hand, if that's what we're doing. I'm going to play the Plains rather than the Vista, which tells them I didn't draw Counterspell, but I'd rather keep my fetch land available and Timeless Dragon for additional mana sources here. Brainstorm, okay. They wouldn't have played this Cavern if they had another land. Like, this is a sad face Cavern of Souls. Unless they're worried about the 1-up Wasteland I play. But they already had an Underground Sea in play, so that doesn't make any sense. I've played quite a bit of Doomsday myself, and having the Cavern this early sucks so hard. Because you're a mono blue deck splashing a black spell, and everything costs colored pips of mana. There's not a lot of colorless sources of anything. Or colorless costing cards. Oof. Alright. Well, this one's probably going to take the plow. If they are gearing up for big Sheolds. But I have the 4 mana for Wandering Emperor just heads up in my hand. I can Timeless Dragon, then jam Narset, they jam Sheoldred, I Wandering Emperor to clear Sheoldred. If they're on the fair plan, I'm actually pretty set up for that. Yep, all signs continue to point towards Sheoldred. I'm going to cycle for Plateau. They do want access to red eventually. And I don't have the basic mountain in my deck, and I wouldn't want to fetch it if I did. I'm going to deploy Narset. It dazed me, okay. Narset is in the graveyard, fair enough. I'm not ready to point this Surgical at anything. Like, I could take Brainstorms or Ponders out of their deck. I don't think I care that much. Oh, there's a Brainstorm. Would have been rewarded. No, they would have just cast it in response. It's really hard to get paid on just a value Surgical like this. Or air quotes value, because I don't even know if it's valuable. Brainstorm dropped a fetch land, so they probably are brainstorming away the land, the Underground Sea, or they're setting up for big moves next turn. I can Hold up Wandering Emperor. I could just jam Dragon into play. I think I want to do some sculpting of my own here with Ponder and Brainstorm. Narset can't be cast with the mana that I have. Really, really sad. I'm going to stack the Plow on top, and I'm just going to pass the turn. They did all this work to clear the way for Sheoldred, and now I just dug up another Swords to Plowshares. They did not fetch in my end step. I'm wondering if I should fire off Surgical here. Yeah, that would have forced their shuffle, like it or not. I chose not to do it. We'll see if that works out for me. Uh-oh, an uncounterable Phyrexian is coming my way. Oh no, what a surprise. Shocking, truly. Guess I can wait till the end step. I was just ready to plow this thing so fast. End step, Swords to Plowshares. Did you back it up with Force of Will? Have you sculpted that hard? Have indeed. Now there's a Force of Will in the graveyard where I can get rid of it and all the other copies of that card, should I so desire. If they just don't attack with Sheoldred, this could actually get pretty awkward. Lotus Petals in play. This represents Hardcast Force. Second Sheoldred. It's casting Street Wraith, fair enough. Attack with Sheoldred. Okay, they knew better than to attack with Sheoldred. I'm still casting Wandering Emperor in the end step. I'd like to make a Samurai. I'm drawing a land. And I can Narset here. Or I can Timeless Dragon and make it a 5/5. That actually sounds better. Okay, 5/5 is bigger than both of your creatures. In Sheoldred is pretty hard to race, and this Brainstorm is just rotting in my hand. If I cast it, I take 6. No attacks, you love to see it. I'm drawing fresh for the first time in a while. +1/+1 and First Strike is what Wandering Emperor offers. Here's Narset. Get an activation on you. There's another Plow in my deck. And there it is. Got him. I have my own Force of Will ready. Plow your Sheoldred. And I'm going to make another 2/2. Attack for 5 and then double block if they come at me. Let's see if they have another Sheoldred. That's the thing I'd be worried about here. Ha ha! Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, with a juke plan like Sheoldred, the juke is known at this point. I left in 3 Swords to Plowshares, which I would have had 0 in against Doomsday a month ago before the Sheoldred tech dropped. And when you have to telegraph starting turn 2, that's your plan. Like Cavern Phyrexian, just let me map out this whole game. The rest taking Swords to Plowshares, super obvious. And I was able to sculpt through it. They did punch it through. They did have the Force Will to back it up, but having removal in the deck and then card selection, being able to pressure through it with the Timeless Dragon, just having a bigger creature, and then that bought me time to kill it. Nice. That was a clean little match. 2-0 versus probably one of the worst matchups. Let's go.
You come here to level up at Magic. To level up as a software engineer, check out the new YouTube series Dev Better, hosted by the founder of 7 Factor Software and Magic player, Jeremy Duvall. 7 Factor's small teams of high-performing engineers build custom mobile apps, APIs, and highly scalable systems for Fortune 500 companies and ambitious startups with great ideas. If you'd like to hire 7 Factor, or maybe join their team, contact them through their website at 7factor.io. And don't forget to subscribe to 7 Factor's YouTube for every episode of Dev Better.
I'm on the draw. Island Ponder. Let's go. It's not the basic island I would prefer, but I'm ready to go with this hand. Really, Chalice of the Void is the only thing that would really break my heart. Okay, got there on the second land. I'm going to invest in Ponder first. Land number 3, Shark Typhoon Narset. Easy, easy. I'm set up on lands for a while. All coming together. If I don't get comboed out, we're going to have a good game here. Wasteland's kind of a bummer, but we were prepared for that. Found the other land. It's got some moves. Oh, it's Death Shadow, sure. Ponder. You got it. I'm going to fetch basic planes and play Currency Converter this turn. I need to clear the Shark Typhoon off the top of my deck to find a land 2 turns out. And if they're going to daze me, Converter's not all that bad. They did not shuffle their Ponder. I wouldn't shove Currency Converter into daze if I didn't need to shuffle anyway. But I do, so here it is. Wow, Force of Will pitching Murktide Regent. Major respect for the converter. Deal. I was ready to trade it for a daze. Turok, please don't hit my island. Okay, good. Got to keep the island. That's what really matters here. And now I understand why they forced that currency converter. It would have been worth multiple cards. All right, bam, right on time. Always had it. We're in there. Don't really have a plan from here, but my deck is better under Standstill than theirs is. Blue, and a pause. This looks like Murktide Regent. Sure. Get to draw 3 cards. Already holding Swords of Plowshares. Found another one. No land found here. I'm going to plow first to play around days with that one. And now I'm going to ponder looking for that other land. Did find a land. It is Plateau. But I'll take a land. Any land at all here. Awkwardly, Counterspell is on top of my deck, and I don't have blue. Tickling Street Wraith. They got a lot of work to do to get near Death Shadow. They just gained 1 million off that Murktide Regent being plowed. Brainstorm, Street Wraith. They wraithed before they cycled, so they liked 2 of the cards they saw off Brainstorm. Hymn to Turok is scary. That's like the #1 card that I am worried about when I'm a blue-white deck against decks like this. Thoughtseize is annoying, but Hymn to Turok is actually just could end the game. Like if that Hymn to Turok hit my island 2 turns ago, I don't think we'd be in this game at all. I'm gonna Brainstorm, try to hit a land. There's 2 new cards. Oh yeah, land and Standstill. I'm gonna put Swords to Plowshares and Wandering Emperor on top of the deck. Those are cards I would like hidden away. Standstill, leaving the basic land untapped in case they waste me. We're in there with another Standstill. Once again, several cards to work through before I do anything with it. Like there's no Shark Typhoon, Timeless Dragon, anything like that involved here. But their deck really doesn't do anything under Standstill. They just crack Ponder, give me my Ancestral Recall right away. I would Force of Will a Hymn to Turok here. I've gotten them with multiple 3-for-1s this game. I can afford the cards. Another Murktide Regent, sure. Got Swords to Plowshares for that. But I'll land drop. Yeah. Okay, cool. I could mess around with Wandering Emperor here. I think Swords to Plowshares just squeaky clean. Get rid of this thing. Tap holding up Counterspell or Brainstorm. I'll probably Brainstorm in the end step. I don't need 2 Wandering Emperors here. Back both of the Wandering Emperors, then I'm going to draw one of them and shuffle the other away. Get my land drop. Now I got big Shark Typhoon ready. Going places. They're just working through their life total. Fetch Shock in the end step. Swords to Plowshare is just such a beating on these decks. They have just achieved hardcast Force of Will mana. There's a little bit of a balance here because Shark Typhoon turns on Snuff Out, but Wandering Emperor turns on Force. I can counter a Force if I care that much. Not even convinced I do. I'm going to go for Emperor. I would not have fetched twice if I really thought that out. I thought I was going to pivot onto Shark Typhoon, then I remembered Snuff Out. Okay, they don't have Force, it seems. Or they didn't want to use it in that spot. And I'm going to help them whittle their life total down. Not really a way around that. This deck does win with damage. And I'm going to ponder Prismatic Vista, Teferi, Timeless Dragon. These are all really good cards. I'll put Teferi in my hand, cast it, holding up Counterspell. I'm going to bounce nothing and draw that Prismatic Vista. And now we're cooking. I don't know what it would take to lose this game, but I feel extremely confident at this point. Storm, okay. Street Wraith, clear one of the cards you just saw off Brainstorm. Hymn to Turok. I'm going to counterspell this. If 1-for-1 interaction, I'm going to use it. Ah! Yeah, scoop to the counterspell. That's what I like to see. Okay, Murktide Regent deck confirmed. I don't want Surgical, Deafening Silence, Containment Priest, none of those things. They could pivot onto Court of Cunning, but Wear Tear is not really the answer I want to that. I want Pyroblast. I do want to cut Force of Will, but I don't want to cut too many because that it starts to expose me again to the Court of Cunning stuff. But for a blue-white control deck, this deck has a ton of creatures in it, between the Currency Converter, the Wandering Emperor, Timeless Dragon, Shark Typhoon. A lot of creatures. Yeah, I think I'm just going down 3 Force, up 3 Pyroblast. Let's go. Don't really need Ruination. They don't usually play basics. Maybe one, or if they have any. Destroying all their lands if I resolve a 4-mana spell. If I resolve a 4-mana spell, I should figure out another way to win. This one's risky. I'm in. Island Brainstorm Keep. Not as good as Island Ponder, but I'll take it. Just really don't like taking mulligans against discard decks. But this Thoughtseize is going to take Currency Converter, for sure. Like, you chase a perfect 5, and then they just Thoughtseize the card that made it perfect, then you have 4 cards instead of 7. But Brainstorm. Okay, so they must have Daze, or a counterspell of some sort for the converter. Force of Will. Okay, pitching Murktide Regent. 2 games in a row, Currency Converter has been good for 2 cards, and one of them's Murktide Regent. So I'm in much more dire straits this game than I was last. Good news is I don't care that much about him to draw, because my hand, there's not a single important card in it. I'm going to draw a land and jam Standstill, or I am not. And those are the 2 ways that this turn cycle could go. Nerd into land Thoughtseize. They'll probably take Standstill out of this hand. That's what I would do. Unless they're all in on Murktide Regent, then they might take the Pyroblast and just try to race any land drop. Okay. Ponder, too easy. Always had it. And a land. What did I do to get so lucky? And I do play a Plateau, so I can get white and red off this same land, or I can lock in basic white source. If I need to Pyroblast this turn, I have to get Plateau. But that's not true. I could get Volcanic Island. Yeah. I mean, every land that this land can fetch is live except for Basic Island. Rock Dread Cantor, just in 2-1 protection from white mode. And they can Thoughtseize me, make it a 3-2. Or they can play Death Shadow. Fair enough. All right, and my opponent is all in here. With them all in, I am just going to fetch Plateau and get all my colors set up. I need to clear the Force Will off top of my deck, and looking for a land here. All right, I'll take it. Not the land I was looking for, and this does trigger Turok. And already exposed to Wasteland. Let's go. Let's have good spells now. There are blue creatures in my deck. There are also Supreme Verdict in my deck. And Caracas, as far as ways to clear Turok. The worst thing they can do to me is Wasteland, and another bad thing they can do is Hymn to Turok, which they don't have because they would have pre-combated it. They are passing the turn. I'm playing Teferi. Just try to get deeper in my deck, take some of this pressure off. If I can bounce Death Shadow here, that is a pretty good deal. Currency Converter. That does make non-white creatures. Missing the land drop hurts. They have a card in their hand that they didn't cast last turn. It could be Force of Will. It could be a redundant, like, non-wasteland mana source. It could be a removal spell like Snuff Out. I think they would have cast any discard spell or any creature. So it could be a second Death Shadow, and they were hedging against Swords to Plowshares. Thoughtseize, bummer. They should probably take Currency Converter, but reasonable argument for Ponder. Took the Emperor, okay. Just trying to get over the finish line. Let's see if they bother with Teferi or just go for it to the face. All right, they do want to race. Shadows back. Dramatic Ending. Yes, please. I'm going to play Currency Converter, and I'm going to pass the turn. I did just give up on Counterspell. That might be pretty bad. No, but if they cast a discard spell, which is what I care about primarily, that'll feed the Converter, and then I can block Turok. Opponent's attacking me. I'm going to Prismatic Ending. Shadow. I'm going to go to 3. Leaving up Ponder seems better to me than leaving up Pyroblast. The major blue card I care about is Murktide Regent, and I can untap and hit that with Pyroblast. Another Shadow, okay. Wrong. I need some of my discard engines. I need to get Currency Converter online. Supreme Verdict, but no 4th land. Brutal. Gotta shuffle this. Wandering Emperor. Come on, land to play it. Alright. Yeah, just petered out here. All good. Game 3 time. Turok is in the deck. Do I do anything with that information? I don't think so. That might be an argument for more Force of Will. I could go down 1 Red Blast, up 1 Force of Will. Kozilek's Return, if it's not kicked, does get it, but that's the only thing it gets. Yeah, whatever. I have blue and black creatures in the deck. I'm not going to go too crazy over Turok. On the play, another Cursed 1-lander. We're going to keep. Basic Island, Brainstorm. They cast a discard spell. I will Brainstorm in response. Gotta hope there's a land in my top 3 cards. Also, Daze is really bad for me. Good end step Brainstorm, try to supercharge a Standstill. If I miss, it's just GG. I'll take the draw. Come on, land. Not a land, Brainstorm, let's go. Don't daze me. Oh, the last card was the land. Good thing we waited. Put back Pyroblast and one of the Standstills, or do I want all of those? Maybe Counterspell. I'm pretty far away from that one being good. And I'm about to fetch Basic Plains. Yeah. Counterspell's out. Basic Plains, Currency Converter. Let's see if we can get another Forced Murktide Region out of this. Or even better, let's see if we can just freaking resolve it. We're in there. Okay. Totally different game texture if their discard spells turn into 2/2s. Brainstorm. Wasteland, hell yeah. The opposite of what I usually say about Wasteland. I would love to find a land drop I can make and then Ponder and Standstill. All right, I got some choices here. I can Ponder, try to hit the land and cast Standstill. I could also just play Standstill and hang out. I think I want to Standstill. We're in there. No land drop, but I can Currency Convert, and like I keep saying, their deck doesn't do anything under Standstill, where mine eventually does something. Even currently, Currency Converts. I don't think they would have played Wasteland last turn if they had a different land, and they have 8 cards in hand, so they're about to go to discard. Might as well fire it in. Standstill delivered my next 2 land drops. One of them stays basic under the Wasteland. I can go basic Island Narset this turn, or I could just jam another Standstill. I don't know. Let's see what happens. Got a lot of choices now. I think I'm more interested in Narset first than Standstill. Oh, wow, they missed. Just go to cleanup. Discarding Dress Down. Unclear why that's in the deck right now. Oh, unless they're doing like the burst damage thing. Yeah, I like Narset better than Standstill here. We're in. I'm not going to activate her because then I'd have to go to discard. But is that even that bad? Because my going to discard goes under Currency Converter, but I can take it slow with this. No rush. Their cantrips are turned off when they're clearly non-functional over there. Need to kill Narset somehow. They don't play a lot of ways to do that. Little down and dirty Turok, but I'm holding Karakas this time. Sure. Karakas. Play Standstill. Bounce Turok. And I'm still not convinced I want to activate Narset, because they'll have to break my Standstill, do anything, and then I'll have so many cards in my hand. And save Narset to cash in when I'm ready. Unless they play like Eliminate, this Narset's just going to be in play until they attack it or something. Thought Seizing into Standstill is pretty smart. As far as ways to break Standstill go, that's a pretty good one, because you get to see the cards and take the best one. They did just Wasteland me off the land that they had that could cast rock. Does not seem like they found another. Start making 2/2s. These 2/2s will eventually turn on Death Shadow, which is not ideal, but it's also fine. Started a Thoughtseize to hand size. Love that. Gonna attack for 2. Oh fuck, I just clicked through it. I just like scratched my eyeball while I was moving into combat, and my mouse hand just clicked right through it. Whoops. It's fine. I am just gonna go to clean up and discard a Prismatic Ending here. I'll pretend that was on purpose so Death Shadow didn't come into play. It was not. Found a land at long last. I can plow a Murktide Regent with ease. I can counter Turok, or just put my black creatures in front of Turok. Him to Turok. I mean, my Currency Converter is already flush. I'll just answer that thing. Step, get to make a 2/2. Now I finally have a few enough cards in hand that I can activate Narset. Found a Standstill and a Wandering Emperor. I think I'd rather Emperor. And I'm going to remember to attack this time. And by remember, I mean strategically choose to attack this time. Which is definitely what I meant last time. We know they have Turok, and then 6 mystery cards. 5 mystery cards. There is Turok. I could force this. I think I want to force it. This is just a really sticky thing that gets in the way. I have so much white removal. I would hate to fuck around and find out, and they just like Thoughtseize me and Hymni, and then this is bigger than my rogues, and I can't do anything. Okay, that resolves. End step, Wandering Emperor. I'm just pushing for damage here. Make it 2/2. Activate Narset. Love to find a Teferi here. Towards the Plowshare is Shark Typhoon. Take Shark Typhoon. And then I use Prismatic Ending because that one doesn't gain them a bunch of life when they're dead on board. +1 counter on one of the black creatures so they can't snuff it. But snuff deals more damage than the attacker does, so that's not really a play anyway. We got the GGs in the chat. Just have to remember to actually attack. Successfully navigated clicking through combat. Let's go. Head for Xaxes. On to the next round. Let's roll. This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and every other format you'll see on this channel. They have multiple customizations so you can view your deck how you want. Text view, stacks, grid, custom grouping by type, subtype, color, light mode, dark mode. However you want to see your deck, they can provide it for you. My favorite feature is you can choose your set printing, make the deck look exactly how you want it to. The deck screen features expandable sections that show you what tokens your deck makes, your recent change history to the deck, stats about mana curve and opening hand distribution, mana cost distribution. You can deal out sample hands and even play test the deck. Island Ponder. You know I'm keeping this one. This site has everything. Follow me on Moxfield.com to keep up with decks I'm playing for the channel and what I'm up to in paper. I'll see you there. I'm on the draw with a great hand I'm going to keep. My opponent's name is Double Looks, which is the name of a game store near my house, like Western PA. And I wonder if this is one of the people from Double Looks. They do support Legacy over there. They're on a Multi 6. Misty Rainforest, Mishra's Bauble. These 2 cards generally indicate Delver. Or it could be the Epic Storm. The Delver or the Epic Storm. I'm going to think it's Storm, based on them not having any other plays here. No creature, no ponder, just land, bauble. And they bubbled me, even though they have a fetch land. That's just somebody who wants more information. I'm going to play like this is Storm and put Scalding Tarn into play and not play Currency Converter. Because I have Force Blue card and I can Brainstorm for more if I need more. And they've seen the Brainstorm. The cool thing, if this is Epic Storm, is Prismatic Ending's pretty good against this deck. If they play Wishclaw Talisman and pass. Or I've just been lied to. Could still be Delver. In which case, I wish I cast Currency Converter. Did not shuffle and then did not play a land. This is Storm. I don't think there's anything I'd want to Brainstorm into now except Ponder. I was committed to double basic land, but yeah, fetching basic with the Vista, then I can get Tundra with the other one would have been better. Now I have to get Tundra with this one. Back Wandering Emperor and Swords to Plowshares. And I am going to Ponder here. Ponder was the card that I main phased this Brainstorm in case I found, and I did. Just looking for another layer of protection, another force. None of those are what I want, but it is my next land drop. All right, I'll sign up for it. If they wasteland me and play Dragon's Rage Channeler here, I will be confused about everything I think I know about life and the universe and everything. Found a land off that Brainstorm. Missed their land drop last turn. Drawing Timeless Dragon. I think I want to just put Teferi into play and draw a card. I'm going to keep getting islands. Timeless Dragon can get a Plains here, if that becomes a thing that I need. Days. Wow. Is this Delver after all? I've not seen Days in a Storm deck in a long time. That was the thing people were goofing around with for a while. Now I'm suspicious. I would say Sneak and Show, but that's not a deck that plays Mishra's Bauble. What are we doing over here? Wow, it is some sort of mid-range. It could be the Delverless Delver deck. The Delverless Murktide pile. Oh my god, and they had Wasteland? Alright, alright. It was just a really suspicious keep from Delver. Got it. I'd love to draw a land here. They did not. Could Brainstorm for the land, or just Timeless Dragon. Yeah, I'm just gonna Timeless Dragon. Okay, I would have played this whole game differently if I had read this as Delver. I wouldn't have had a non-basic for that Wasteland to hit. Playing a totally different game, but I mean, thank you for this super slow start. Gave me this long reprieve to get myself up under me. Now I draw the second force after I realize it's not a matchup I actually wanted in. It's good stuff. Brainstormed in response and dazed me. It's fine. I'll let it go. Jeez, what a weird game this has been. Narset's pretty solid. I'm gonna start with Brainstorm. Wowie. Okay. Big mess over here. Put Shark Typhoon on top of my deck, and I want to make sure Prismatic Ending resolves, so I'll lead on that. At least play around Days with it. I'll get my converter in. Converter number 2. Do you have a third Days? Do not. Good. I'm going to force this Murktide Regent, and I'm going to pitch Narset to do it. I'd rather pitch Force, but if they force back, I want to make sure that the board is clear. What I want to do is force Murktide Regent and then jam Standstill on my turn. Force pitching Narset. Okay, cool. Got away with that without losing my whole hand. Drawing Shark Typhoon. And I am putting Standstill on the stack. Okay, let's go. What a weird game this has been. Now I have a third land. We're going to get in the Expressive Iteration versus Standstill showdown. And their thing's going to resolve. Honestly, pretty excited about Big Teferi just kicking around here. They've already played a land, so if they find a 1-drop off this iteration, Ending is lined up for it. Exiled Days and just sent it packing. Days stays exiled forever. Now I have real choices to make. Drawing Narset makes my choices a little easier. I'm just going to Prismatic Ending the Delver and then play Narset. I was going to say I could Ending the Delver, or I could just escape or eternalize Timeless Dragon and rock out with it. Just put the 4/4 in front of the 3/3 or 3/2. 3 other Days are accounted for already. Calculated risk here. We're in there. I will give up Lightning Bolt protection. Standstill versus Plow is really interesting. With the Shark Typhoon in hand, I want the Standstill. And the Timeless Dragon in the graveyard. I can tangle with creatures. And they have to spend resources beating the Narset before they really move forward with anything else. Oh, easy. Done. Brainstorm. I have to imagine there's a Mystic Sanctuary in the deck that could recur whatever they need it to here. I'm going to Ponder first, and then Standstill. I would like to hit my land drop. Does not seem to be happening. I am going to shuffle this rather than commit to the second Standstill. Full of regret. Standstill resolved without a fight. They did not shuffle away their Brainstorm card. Found Expressive Iteration. I found the missing land and 2 white removal spells. Feeling gassed up here. Flooded Strand exiled off the EI. 3 cards in hand. Channeler. The Fairy HOD is just ready to rock at some point. And I'm ready to rock with it. I should probably just zap my 4/4 flyer into play here. And I'm going to get Tundra to do it. That's something that cannot be countered. It's hard for them to kill unless they have Unholy Heat, which not every deck plays. Fetched Volcanic Island. Another fetch in the end step. Brazen Borrower? Mystic Sanctuary. Okay. They fetch twice. So are they just trying to clear lands, or do they have a spell and they wanted to Mystic? They do have Unholy Heat. All right. I'm not going to fight over that. I have another one in my hand, ready to go right now. Decking Delver is actually a perfectly reasonable plan with this in game 1. You have more removal spells than they have threats. You usually do end up just incidentally killing them with 2/2s way before that becomes a thing, but it's there. They found Murktide Regent off of their Expressive iteration. Fine with me. Ooh, I could Swords to Plowshares. I could also just cast Timeless Dragon, then also cast Plow. Still just betting they're out of dazes. 5/5 flyer in play, or at least on the stack. And I'm going to Swords to Plowshares. I can decide if I want to force or not if they have another daze. Having the last daze would be brutal because they do have the Sanctuary, but I'm just playing like they're never going to have daze. 3 of them are accounted for already, and it's not a card they'd prioritize. They'd have to just draw it for turn or have a pretty bad EI to choose daze at this phase of the game. Clearly, Mystic Sanctuary is still an engine with it. I don't think that's enough. As much as I want to jam Teferi here, past the turn with Shark Typhoon or Wandering Emperor is a much better line. I'm also holding up Force of Will, and so are they. Mishra's Bauble, right on time. The old turn 12 Mishra's Bauble. Looking at the top card of my deck. Hope it's a good one. End step, I'm going to make 6 power and draw a card. Here's Shark Typhoon, put it right into the cash register. 4/4. They're doing something here. Was it Brazen Borrower all along? Yeah, sure. It's still not worth a Force of Will to me. That was free money. I drew a card and made a 2/2 off of that. There's this plateau that they saw with my creatures. Now I can big Teferi and then untap 2 lands and still hold up Wandering Emperor and protect it all with Force of Will. LFG. I will force this through. This is worth everything. All right, just a sad little daze. Pick up their Sanctuary. I'll pay. Draw a card. Big Teferi, up and running in Legacy. Oh, and I drew the counter spell. What a miraculous thing that is. Yeah, they let me get this far and then conceded. Good call. Against Delver, the Blue Blast and the Red Blast coming in. Basic Mountain coming in. Don't like Ruination, don't like Surgical Extraction. Kozilek's Return is maybe, but that only reliably kills Delver in their deck. Don't like Force of Will in the matchup. Out it goes. A lot of people ask me for if I have a sideboard guide for Sharkstill, and the answer is literally, is your matchup a Force of Will matchup or a Swords to Plowshares matchup? Then board out the one that's bad. It mostly is that easy. At least start there, and then you can figure it out after that. Big Teferi had his moment. We beat Delver of Secrets with a Big Teferi in play, but it's not going to have a second moment in this match. That's not a sideboard game card. And I can side grade one of the lands. I could take the Wasteland. Like, your options are just turn Wasteland into Mountain because you're never going to waste Delver. Or you could cut one of the clunkier blue spells like Standstill or Narset. But I like my spells. Let's do it this way. I'm going to keep his hand. It's full of cheap interaction. Ponder, you got it. Oh, my own Ponder. Okay. Now I'm going to fetch Basic Island and cast Ponder. I was going to hold off on the fetch land and decide if I needed red or where I wanted to go with it, but drawing Ponder makes it kind of nice. Sucks that I burned the Scalding Tarn, getting Basic Island, which Flooded Strand can get, and Flooded Strand can't get my Basic Mountain. But my next fetch is going to be Lanes anyway. Then we'll see if I can find my Basic Mountain before having to fetch a non-basic for this Red Blast. Here's DRC and Ponder. Drawing Prismatic Ending, which will be pointed at the channeler off basic planes on my turn. Kept their card on top and then didn't shuffle the Ponder. Like what they found. Basic planes, let's go. Prismatic Ending. And I am going to play Currency Converter. I'd like to get some mana spent here. And if they daze this, like, my hand's pretty tight. They're going to get me with a daze eventually. Might as well stunt their development to do it. On this card of medium importance. Can't Murktide here. Can answer DRC. I don't really want to with my plow. See what happens here. there's my basic mountain if I want it. Let's start with a brainstorm, see if I can come up with prismatic ending or 2 more Swords to Plowshares. I'll put Island Plow on top, and then I can pass into their turn. I got so many plows now. I can answer Murktide Regent 4 times with the 5 cards in my hand. 6 if you count the next one on top. Expressive Iteration. I'm not quite ready to fight over this yet. Maybe... no. This kills Murktide Regent. If this was Blue Blast, I would hit the EI, but Red Blast hits enough real threats that I can let this chill. Exile to Brainstorm off the EI. I'm going to let Channeler hit me, because I don't want them to be able to daze Source of Plowshares, play daze, and then get value off the Brainstorm, or play the land they pick up. I'm going to plow this thing now, and I'm actually going to shuffle, because I would like to find some proactive business at this point. Something like Ponder sounds good. There we go. And gotta shuffle. I'm gonna get another basic island. And I'm gonna leave up red to fight Force of Will. We're in there on the standstill. Sucks I had to shuffle away Shark Typhoon, but getting standstill into play on a safe board. This is how we do it. Ponder. Hey, you look at 3, and so do I, but I get all mine. Dream Verdict rolled up. Shark Typhoon ready. Let's go. I can protect Wandering Emperor with Red Blast starting this turn. 5 basic lands in play across my 3 colors. Love this shit. Brainstorm. Ponder shuffled, and then they had a Brainstorm to follow up. Another Red Blast. Gonna pass the turn. Between Shark Typhoon and Wandering Emperor, I'll do some sort of value play at the end of this turn, depending on what they do. Important to note, Prismatic Vista does not fetch red here. If they go for like Court of Cunning and protect it with Force of Will, then I just cycle Shark Typhoon and attack. You can have Murktide Regent. And in the end step, I'm going to cycle Shark Typhoon. Through Volcanic Island. Now I can double Red Blast if I need to. I'm just going to pass the turn here. If they attack, I can Wandering Emperor and protect it twice. I can save my Red Blast and plows for other stuff. Boo. Boo. Alright, I'll float a red. Pyroblast your dragon. You chose this. I was willing to go into combat with you, but if this is how you want to play it, let's do it. Force of Will pitching Brazen Borrower. Deal. It was all a smoke screen. Lightning Bolt. Yikes. Now they're getting aggro. They think the coast is clear, but it is not. Wandering Emperor. Please force this. Exile target tapped creature and I'll gain 2 life. Not entirely sure if that was better than just blasting or plowing the dragon and immediately starting to plus on Wandering Emperor. But it's where we are. Another Pyroblast. I don't need this land. I will take this Ponder. And then I can decide this turn cycle if I need another Pyroblast. They said in the chat they may regret using that bolt. Yeah, it was pretty aggro. Another Murktide. Resolves. Knowing that Pyroblast is on top of my deck, I can just use these like candy now. Throw them around. Draw Pyroblast. Cast Ponder. I know the land is there. And the best possible card was also there. Stand still, protected by Pyroblast. I guess the card they would have to answer it is Pyroblast, so it's not even really protected. But here we go. Miles ahead. Gonna draw 3 cards if they do anything. I can answer their next at least 3 threats, maybe more. They only have 3 cards in their hand. EI. I'm gonna fetch in response. I'm gonna get Volcanic Island. Or Volcanic Island's already in the graveyard. And my last red card's in my hand. That doesn't make sense. I will just get an island. The plan here. For standstill, and this is the type of spot where I could start getting aggro with the Pyroblast. I'm still not going to do it though. Just really worried about some juke. I have enough creatures that Court of Cunning. I could just take the Monarch and win. Just don't want to risk it. Like I just don't like taking any risk at all ever. Not when I'm this far ahead. Ooh, that's a good creature. I'll attack for 3. My choices here are cast Timeless Dragon, cycle and escape Timeless Dragon, or pass and hold up Shark Typhoon. It's like a good time to cast Timeless Dragon. They can beat a Force of Will, they can't daze it. This is a huge creature. Kill anything they play. Still holding a Pyroblast for port or whatever. And we got the GGs in the chat. They started to tap mana that looked like Murktide Regent, and then changed their mind and just said, never mind, game's over. Fair enough. We did it. Pick Delver apart. 6 basic lands in play. There's more in the deck. F yeah, let's go. We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me. Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league. On the play for round 4, my opponent has revealed Yorion. I'm going to keep my hand. Yorion is more likely to be 5-color control these days than it is to be Death and Taxes. But I like my hand in both of those matchups. Island go. Tundra. Aether Vial. Oh, okay, it's Esper Vial. The Aether Vial actually fucks up my plan here real bad. My plan was Standstill. Do I think that these pair of Timeless Dragons and Shark Typhoon can beat Aether Vial under Standstill? Yuck. I don't think I can. Yeah, I'm not going to mess around and find out. I have other things I can do that are less risky. It's going to be a grind, though. My game plan is to find a prismatic ending, clear the vial, and then stick Standstill. Stoneforge Mystic. Yikes. This could also be Cephalid Breakfast. The Yorion Breakfast deck that exists. I don't know if those are usually Esper, though, with the Underground Sea. I'm going to grab a Tundra. Need some removal pretty quick here. Wandering Emperor. Maybe someday that's removal. Brainstorm. Uh-oh. Yeah, this Standstill's not going to be part of my plan ever, and neither is this Wasteland. Wandering Emperor does not answer Batterskull because that creature has haste. Okay, it is Breakfast, and we might just lose here. They already had Shuko, or they can Violin Illusionist. Yeah, we're in trouble. Officially. End step, fetch. Don't want any of these cards. Search for Volcanic Island and then Plane Cycle. Taps me out, which they might just kill me in response. If they were playing around Plow, now they don't have to. That might have been a aggressive Plane Cycle. Get another Tundra. Play the Tundra. I'm going to pass the turn here. I'm going to pass priority in my end step. And now I have the option to exile either of these tapped creatures. Or I'll get priority back after Stoneforge resolves. So let's see what they put in. If it's Cauldra, I'll wait. Batterskull's whatever. Oh, but they could still win in response. I don't think they have that, though. They had multiple opportunities to try to kill me. Force of Will pitching Narcomoeba. I'm going to force back and pitch Counterspell. I think this game's going to happen on the battlefield, not on the stack. Exile Nomad's Encore. You have it the whole time? Nope. Okay, cool. You have to beat a Batterskull now. Oh. There's another Vial activation. Baleful Strix, sure. Alright, we gotta defeat this board of creatures and Aether Vial now. Their attack kills my Wandering Emperor. We knew that was going to happen. That was a necessary sacrifice to stop from getting comboed out. Violin Recruiter second main. 1 card left in hand, plus whatever they recruit for. Oh, we're just yelling. Okay. That's going to be hard to defeat. I'm going to play the Tundra they know about. I'm going to pass a turn. I could play Narset, but that doesn't do anything here. I'm going to try to mess with them in combat with Shark Typhoon. Like, eat one of their creatures, then attack, take the Monarch, and off we go. That's how I'm drawing it up anyway. If they have any removal spell or any creature worth vialing in, this doesn't work. Play their land. They can Violin Yorion next turn. Wow, they left back Baleful Strix. So smart. Alright. It's taking a big chunk. Yep, Yorion's in hand. It can flicker next turn. I'm just going to make the largest shark I'm capable of in the end step. Mountain Ponder. First of Plowshares does clear Baleful Strix, which can give me the Monarch, at least briefly. Briefly the Monarch. And cast Ponder. Really looking for Force of Will here. Supreme Verdict, not freaking bad, though. Shark Typhoon under it. Not shuffle this deck, and do not put anything in off that Aether Vial in the end step. I don't think there's a lot of 4s in the deck. Okay, I am the Monarch, and there is no creatures in play. I just got rid of their giant unbeatable Yorion Flicker board. Yorion can flicker Batter Skull, give them 2 creatures in my end step. I just sat straight up in my chair. This went from a slouch game to a fully engaged game very quickly with that Supreme Verdict. Illusionist. Oh, am I just dead? Tuco. Okay, yeah, I'm just dead. They've already pitched an Archimeeba. All right, fine. I was so excited. Yeah, this is the power of this deck. It both is a combo deck and is a strong Esper mid-range deck. I'm just going to take a peek at their deck and then concede. They pitched one Archimeeba already, but there should be plenty to make this work. Stoneforge Mystic, which did not find anything. Doesn't need to. Just doing the good practice tech check here. Looking if there's anything weird going on in their deck. There's the Oracle, there's the Dread Return, Solitude's in the deck. Ball Therapy. All right. I am content. We're good. We're good. We're done. GG. They had me playing from behind, scrambling to beat the creatures, and then I just died to the combo. Tamer Priest, Grafdigger's Cage, I like. Kozilek's Return, I like. Surgical Extraction, I guess, is necessary, though I don't like it. Wear Tear hits Aether Vial, and Shuko, and Batterskull. Pyroblast hits the Illusionist and Trips, I guess. Don't want Force of Will. Fairy's pretty solid. Standstill's dangerous against the Aether Vial deck. I'll leave some in. Fairy's actually pretty fire here. There's so many cards I'm bringing in. I think all my Standstills are going to go. All my Standstills are going. I care less about Wear Tear because Aether Vial's less of a problem. Is Teferi important in this matchup? I don't think so. And it's like a good card you could play, but looking at the rest of the cards that I have, not inspiring any particular excitement. I guess I'm just bringing in... I should cut a piece of Graveyard Hate, I think. I think Pyroblast will be better than the 4th Graveyard option. All right, Surgical out. Or I think Surgical is better than Cage. Surgical can do other stuff. Cage only does that, and they can see it coming. Gonna keep one land to rule them all. I don't remember if this is a Wasteland deck or not, and I'm just gonna play like it's not. Currency Converter, get in there. Belding Tarn is not Wasteland. Ponder is not Aether Vial. Much better. See if I can rip the land to get Standstill going. And yep, had it the whole time. Volcanic Island Standstill. Force pitching Narcomoeba. Okay. It was good for 2 cards either way. +2 for me or -2 for you. Stoneforge Mystic. I have the Plow this time. Not sure if that's the right answer, because they could just creature plus Shuko next turn. Let's start with a Brainstorm. I don't need this second Currency Converter. This Force Will makes me feel a lot better. Allow the Stoneforge. Fruiter the Guard. Is this a path I want to go down? Fine. I will fall prey to the I'll just counter what they get mentality that frequently punishes players, but sometimes it's right. Grabbed a backup Stoneforge. Okay. Multiple Shark Typhoons available. I'll bring it in there. Give me a taste. Attacking with a 1/1 into Currency Converter would be so crazy. I really don't want to Force a Will this. I might have to. I don't have another option right now. Alright, Force Pitch Brainstorm. Shark Typhoon, too much value. Can't talk me out of it. You just saw me pitch a Brainstorm, so they must know I got something better than that. Get a 1/1 and a 2/2 and a card. Second Converter I knew about. Standstill, yo. Put this one on the stack. How'd we do? We're in there. Back for 3. I'm on offense here. I'm winning this race big time. Cracking a fetch. Time to cast a spell. It's probably Batterskull. Batterskull is on the stack. And Supreme Verdict answers it, kinda. Not in a way I'm excited about. There's a prismatic ending or a wear tear I want. Force of will, right on time. I can just trade with their creatures. I'm going to play my standstill. Just shove it in. They attack with Batterskull. I can cycle Shark Typhoon for 0 and trade with this thing now. I could loot in the end step, accept my 4 damage. Yeah, I think that's where I want to be. BETCHA Plains and then loot away the other converter. Discard converter. I drew a Force of Will. That went under the box. The problem with trading with Batterskull is they can just equip Recruiter on the following turn, then they have a 5/5, and I don't really have a good plan for that. Get my 1 damage in. I didn't attack with Shark last turn because if they attacked with everything, I wanted to trade with Germ and Recruiter. But there's wise enough to leave the Recruiter back. All right, poop out a 2/2. I'm going to trade with Batterskull. And next turn, I'll have enough power and toughness to trade with the other one. Suited that one up. I'm going to end step cycle Shark Typhoon. Gets me my 3/3 up front and the other 2 power under the converter. All of Heliod. The pieces are all coming together. Gonna have to start doing something here. Back with the 1. The 1's a freebie. Nomads and Core. They're just going for it. Standstill draws a bunch of cards. And Nomads are in play. Illusionist. And Brainstorm in response to this. See what I come up with. An additional Force of Will. That's not a bad thing to come up with. I can cast Force of Will. I can force 3 times here, and they have 3 cards in their hand. And I'm untapping into Big Teferi. Sign me up. Step. I could, instead of converting currency, just attack for 4 Supreme Verdict. I think I actually like that a lot better. And I have some currency saved up. Attack for 4. 2, 3, 4. Clear all this mess out, including half of their combo. I can Force of Will Yorion. Put Standstill back on top of my deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cast Teferi and Standstill next turn. Got a plan. Force of Will, target Yorion. Forcing me back, pitching Ponder. I will respond in kind here. Okay. End step, make it 2/2. Put Standstill on top of my deck. And jam Big Teferi. Whammo! Big Teferi's in play. Draw a card. Play my land. Play Standstill. Back for 2. I probably shouldn't have played the land. I was going to untap and I could activate Currency Converter. Oh, but I get to untap all of Heliod in a land. That's so much better. Okay, no, I do like playing the land now that I figured out where I'm going with it. Once again, Big Teferi arrived, activated once, and the game ended. As you do, as Garfield intended. Containment Priest should have been in this deck the whole time. I don't know what happened there. That is... Wait. Did my sideboarding not go through? Whoa, whoa, whoa. You all saw me bring all these cards in, right? I'm not losing my mind. Matchup didn't change. Okay. Unclear what's going on right now. Oh, right. I did just cast multiple Force of Wills after boarding them out. Yeah, something just went wrong. Also, the Standstills, I boarded out as well. Okay. I just played them with my game 1 deck again. What the fuck? Mysterious. Okay. Yeah, I don't have a good understanding of what just occurred. I was trying to draw to Wear Tear. It was not even possible. Submit deck. You all saw me submit that deck. Counterspell is pretty bad on the draw against possible Aether Vial. I'm going to mulligan this. It's just not doing enough. Okay. I'm going to keep this one, and we confirm that my sideboard did register. I'm going to bottom one of these many removal spells. Just Narset is my plan. Once the coast is clear, to jam it and pull ahead. Big T. There's a vial. Cool. I can clear that out easily. Drew my plateau, which means this Flooded Strand has to fetch Volcanic Island if I'm gonna Red Blast. But this does represent mana for Narset now. This actually sucks because if they play a creature, I can't fetch Plateau, zap it, untap, make a land. I'm gonna save my Red Blast. They have a combo in their deck that requires a blue creature being in play. I'm not going to beat up Brainstorms on turn 2. They're vile. Don't love it. I also don't love that I can't tap out for Narset or else I lose. Or I could lose. Possible that I lose. I can Narset next turn. Or if they get antsy and do stuff this turn. Yeah, these 2-card combo decks. Tough to sneak a 3-drop in against them. Baleful Strix. This is not where I want to point a red blast, but it resolves. Uko is in play. Concerning. Okay. You have a 2/1 creature. That kills Narset even faster. Okay, now I have choices to make. I think I'm going to fetch Basic Island, play Basic Plains, stick Narset. Going for it. I'm leaving up white and red, which are my 2 removal interaction colors. Narset found Shark Typhoon and Brainstorm. I'll take Shark Typhoon. I'm setting up this big mana game where Shark Typhoon can tangle with Baleful Strix for 3 mana, and I'm still holding up 2 removal spells. Aether Vial, they did an end step activate Aether Vial, put in nothing trick. If you're on an Aether Vial deck, that's just good practice, because you don't want to only activate it when you actually have something. Just if I had a Containment Priest or something, that might have flushed it out. But 2 damage on Narset, which does not kill her, so she is still stymieing their deck in some way. Shit. Oh, are we dead? They can either protect this, or they have 2 of it, or they can't. Don't activate Aether Vial. Yep, 80-card deck. No problem. No problem. Alright, GG. Good games. Yeah, just having 2 Cephal Illusionists in your first 15 cards in your 80-card deck. That's going to happen. I could have just not cast Narset, and that lets Vial tick up, but I do have land number 5 if I Narset next turn with 2 pieces of interaction. Yeah, I don't know. Hindsight's 2020, but I feel like I played the numbers and lost there. Oh well. The trophy dream is dead. For the absolute best Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, check out the link in the video description to coalesceapparel.shop, and be sure to use the code BoshNRoll for 10% off when you check out. I'm on the draw in the final round against a WotC staff, Heather, who said they're a fan of the channel. Always love hearing that WotC is aware of me on the inside. Island Ponder, you know I'm in. 6 cards over there. A Beseju on 1. My goodness, Birds of Paradise. Come on, planes off the top. I've got the plow. You've got a target. Just more ponders. Arrakis. Is this where I want to be with my life? That casts the plow, and I can fire off the next ponder, and I have another removal spell waiting in the wings. Alright. It's not a plains, and I gotta expect a Birds of Paradise deck to contain Wasteland, which I'm a little worried about. Let's do this thing. Seiju Birds of Paradise is some weird stuff. Could be like any flavor of Maverick or whatever. Elvish Reclaimer. I'm missing the land drop. I think I have to go after the Reclaimer, though Reclaimer doesn't do anything without 2 lands, and they did just miss a land drop. Going after Bird is tempting. I'm gonna high roll this thing. Prismatic Ending Birds of Paradise. It's gone. Ponder is gonna look at Ponder and 2 new cards. Gotta shuffle this. I need lands at this point. Found a Plains. Good news. It doesn't cast Narset or a counterspell, but it does put a land into play. We're at an important threshold right now where I gotta really consider Force of Willing anything that goes on this deck. Because they're kind of pinched, and if they get out of it, they unlock these 5 spells in their hand. And I'm kind of ahead, but if they unlock all their spells, I could fall behind quickly. Collector Oof pitching Spirit Guide. Okay. Alright, they're up to something over there. Main deck Spirit Guide. This is some sort of turbo natural order mess. Oh, that was a great draw. I'd like to remove all your permanents from play, please. It's funny, I can spend 3 mana to do this or 2 mana to do this, and it's the exact same play. Ending the Reclaimer. Allow the Oof. Hold up Force of Will. Gotta get something going here. Literally just blue source. Come on, blue source. Brainstorm, save me. Oh dear. Well, Timeless Dragon's good. Wandering Emperor is castable on these lands that I have. The Fairy is the worst card here, but it's also the card I want to cast the most. I'm going to get rid of Wandering Emperor, and I think it's just Counterspell. I'm going to be tapping out for all of the next several turns. Gotta get Tundra here, looking for that second blue. I guess getting rid of the Counterspell is a huge punish if I draw land next turn for Teferi. Like, Teferi holding up Counterspell is exactly the game plan I was playing towards. Yeah, their one-lander with Bird and Spirit Guide did not pay off, and I don't really know what they're doing. If not for the Birds of Paradise, I would think this is some kind of, like, a Fiend Artisan, air quotes, elf deck that barely has any elves in it anymore. Clearly a creature deck. Kozilek's Return's coming in. I get Containment Priest vibes. Like Natural Order, Green Sun Zenith. Birds of Paradise and Collector Roof are both cards you put into a Zenith package. Age checks that box as well. Bear Terror can hit Choke, which I suspect is a card they have. The main deck is just so good against decks like this that it's hard to sideboard. Probably going to lose these Force of Wills and hope that they're not like some turbo Natural Order deck. And if they are, that Containment Priest or Cage, stuff it. In my current configuration, I have the 2 counterspells, Wear Tear and 4 Prismatic Ending. And I guess not really Teferi, Little Teferi, but Big Teferi can answer a choke. Big Teferi answering choke would be the funniest thing. I could shave a Standstill to get another Wear Tear in or get a Force of Will back. Standstill's the kind of thing that buries a deck like this, though. All right, I'm going in like so. I have the Plow. I'm on the draw. I'm going to keep... I gotta imagine this is a Wasteland deck too, but if it's a Spirit Guide deck, maybe it's not. Maybe they are just trying to turbo some nonsense. It can't be a Cascade deck because we saw Birds of Paradise and Collector Roof. Oh no, they're mulling to 4 over there. Said not like this in the chat. I hope we get to see whatever this is. At least once. Clearly some kind of turbo horseshit though, if they're willing to mull to 4 in like a creature deck. Birds of Paradise. Well, I'm coming at you on your mull to 4. No mercy in this dojo. The island is a huge relief. It casts Standstill, it casts Counterspell. Gets this show on the road. I'm not even sure I want to cast Standstill, as weird as that is. Because if this game does grind to a halt, and they're able to draw out of their mulligan, that's bad for me. Like, if I had a Timeless Dragon or even Shark Typhoon in my hand to get the show on the road, I'd be interested, but do I just hold up Counterspell and pass? Yeah, I think maybe I do. Weird spot. Like, if they just fetch Dryad Arbor under the Standstill, start poking me for 1, and dig out of their mulligan while I hang out. Hardcast Once Upon a Time. Deal. Mount Verdant Catacombs. They're not hurting for mana here. Bracken fetch lands. Whatever this last card in hand is, it's coming. It is a Fiend Artisan deck. I'm just going to counter Fiend Artisan. This will buy me the time to... Like, I could have played Teferi, bounced it, and we play that turn cycle over again, but if Teferi misses on the land for Supreme Verdict, pretty awkward. Let me get a Plains. Make sure my basics are lined up here. Delete this Birds of Paradise. Okay, I can now instant speed Supreme Verdict off of Teferi whenever I feel like it. If I had the 4th land lined up, it would have been better to let Fiend Artisan resolve, Teferi, bounce it, they replay an Artisan, and then I Supreme Verdict all creatures. I couldn't know. All right, with Hall of Heliod and multiple Shark Typhoons, I'm casting Standstill here. They're just going in on Natural Order. I was not wrong that they're a Natural Order deck. And there's no counterspells. Alright, let's see if I'm dead. I have Supreme Verdict, which covers a lot of bases here. Yeah. Not a lot you can do against a Supreme Verdict from 1 card. Kozilek's Return. Plus Teferi. We're in combat. I'm gonna Supreme Verdict now. This thing out of here. Goes back in the deck for later. Alright, they made a good run out of it. They were a Natural Order Fiend Artisan deck. Pretty good read. And 4-1 is the final result with Sharkstill. That's fully respectable. Losing only to Cephalid Breakfast with the Runner 2 of Cephalid Illusionist in their hand early in the game. That's a tough matchup, though. Not mad about it. And we slayed all other comers. And this deck is good. The thing that it's doing is really powerful. It's a strong control deck that can play the game on basics. You can shrug off Wasteland a lot of the time. Got a lot of tools against the top of the metagame. None of my reservations about the deck are about its power level. It's just about the building around Standstill instead of building around Expressive Iteration at the core of your Jeskai control deck is just, it's introducing variants that you don't have to. You could just spend 2 mana to always get a bunch of cards, or you can spend 2 mana to conditionally sometimes get 1 more card than that. See the same number of cards, but you get all of them. It's just a tough sell. If your only goal is to win the most matches of Magic, I can't endorse Standstill over an Expressive Iteration deck, but basic lands are powerful, and we put up a 4-1. This deck does chew up creatures, spit them out for breakfast. Lots of removal, lots of its own creatures, lots of planeswalkers. Big Teferi came down twice and instantly won both games he was involved in. I don't know if that's an endorsement, but shout out to Big Teferi. Counterspell remains pretty good. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lands in the deck that don't cast it, though, and that did come up a number of times where we're like hurting for double blue. That last match where I had Plains Caracas Island with Narset and Counterspell in hand, that was kind of rough, but you do have Timeless Dragon and all the cantrips to smooth it out. It's not a great deck to cast Counterspell on turn 2. It's a great deck to cast Counterspell on turn 8, though, which is kind of when you want it. Just once you're pulling ahead, having this clean answer to whatever. And I'm going to leave it there. There's nothing else to say. Deck freaking slaps. You could just do slightly better if you build around EI than Standstill. But if you like this kind of thing, or if basic lands are particularly potent in your metagame, if you live in like a Blood Moon world or something like that in your local meta, this might actually end up being better because your spells are castable. But in an open field, play Expressive Iteration. Chris, thank you for asking me to play Sharkstill. Always a pleasure. Everybody else, thanks for watching. Be sure to check out the Patreon and all the other stuff that supports the channel in the video description. I appreciate you, and I'll see you next time.